Hello guys, welcome back to another No Place to Be video. It's James here.
Matt here.
Yeah, and today we're going to do a little sit-down talking video because it's still winter, but we want to try and get more videos out for the channel. And we thought, what better way than to discuss what we've learned after our first year of getting into motorbikes. So it might be useful, and hopefully we've got a list here. We're going to go through it and drop some knowledge bombs.
Yeah, there's quite a few things on the list, James, so why don't you start us off with number one?
I will start us off with number one, Matt. So, I'd say best thing about having motorbikes is, first and foremost, it forces you to explore your immediate surroundings, but then after that go out and explore parts of like your country, so UK for us, which we probably would have never thought about seeing or visiting.
Yeah, so I mean 6 months before I bought my bike, I moved to Derbyshire, and in those 6 months I didn't really explore very much of the Peak District, but as soon as I got the motorbike, it just became the perfect excuse to go to Matlock, if you know the area. That's quite a biking hub.
Yeah.
In the Peak District you've got Bakewell and Buxton and Mantor and Castleton, all these extraordinary places, yeah, Chatsworth House.
Yeah.
And it just forces you to get outside and explore things that you wouldn't ordinarily do. Yeah. And then branching a bit further out than just within an hour's radius of the house, we obviously went to Wales, took some tents. We're not really the kind of guys that would just go to Snowdonia and go and camp.
No,
because again, we had the bikes and it just made us go, oh, let's just go to Wales, let's just go and see all these amazing roads, but also scenery, and spend some time with your friends as well. So it's the things you don't realise you're not doing before you get a bike. It doesn't just take you on physical journeys, but to get philosophical, but it broadens your horizons, and it gives you experiences. You have different conversations, you meet new people with different interests. And we just, we got out Wales and then even further up to Scotland, and who knows, maybe Europe next year, or Ireland this year we're looking at doing, so watch out for another video later in the summer on that one. Yeah,
subject to my laptop working for a good enough edit. But he's absolutely right, so a bit of context for you guys on the channel. So I've been living in Southampton for 3.5 years. So obviously on the south coast, you got a lot of nice places I want to go and visit, so like places like Dorset and South Downs, Sussex and things, but also forced me to go and explore places like North Devon and down like places like Weymouth and all those biking roads on the south coast. Probably would have never gone in the car because why would I? Didn't really have a reason to. When you're on two wheels, it's like, well, I've done the same route over and over and over again. You just want to go and explore new places. So obviously with Matt being Derbyshire, Alex as well, who's not here today, but he's Derbyshire based, and me in Southampton, we were forced to sort of meet up in middle ground areas, so places like South Wales. Yeah. Had to go and check out North Wales while we were there, because obviously it's got some great roads in Snowdonia. And then we obviously had the great idea of doing the NC 500 in Scotland, because this looked like such a great journey to go on and embark together, like almost like a fellowship of biking. And it's just, such a good experience. And so it forces you to explore, obviously, your own country in more detail, and maybe even foreign lands as well. So that's definitely point one of like the best thing we would have never experienced without bikes.
Absolutely, I think that segues on nicely to other things you wouldn't do, which is, but without getting a bike, we would never have started this YouTube channel.
Exactly.
So again, just it takes you down a journey that you don't know where you're going to end up, and we talk about other things that we may like to do, setting up community sort of like cafe and something like that.
Dream. Yeah.
Maybe in Matlock, or just getting more like-minded, particularly young guys interested in this sort of stuff and bikes and that.
Yeah, cause that's what we did find our USP is. Obviously, biking seems like it's an older generation thing now, which is a big shame, because a lot of young people in previous generations used to get into biking, so it was cheaper, it was cool, it was trendy, it was exciting. And I don't know if it's because millennials are pussies these days, or if they're just it's expensive, which is it's flipped. It's not as cheap as it used to be, and so that just means that the older generation have all got the bikes, and then I think to have us on classic looking Triumphs, it's quite a niche. It's not. I don't see many people on YouTube doing it, so we thought, why not? Let's start this YouTube channel. And it's also been great for us to document our journey, you know, getting the bikes, are they good first time, for a good first time rider.
Yeah.
Obviously we've vlogged all the NC 500s. We want to do way more vlogs and tour videos and stuff going forwards, and just little weekend trips.
And now James has moved up. We're in Derbyshire now, in James's new house, and so...
Well, it's technically Staffordshire, but it's just on the border.
On the border, so we're both, between us, we're both 35-40 minutes from Matlock. So there's going to be lots more content to come
Yeah,
in,
way more.
In the next few months, in the spring and the summer. But I think that segues on nicely, again, James talking about gear and stuff like that. What were you saying about?
Well, I did mention gear, but we can go into gear. So obviously, when Matt first got his bikes, he was old enough to pass his license straight away after getting the idea of getting a bike. So he rushed in, bought his bike, bought his gear before I even had a chance to have my first lesson. So I was like, right, thanks for that, Matt. You've taken my dream and ran with it.
I just paved the way, and I proved to the guys it's doable, and you should just aim for the stars. But one thing I did was buy the gear for the lessons, which then for the most part didn't transition into having that Triumph T120 Ace. So I had some mismatching helmet and trousers, textile trousers.
Stuff.
Yeah, the RST gear. So the thing with that is, what you learn in your first year is have a good picture in mind of where you'd like to be. So we thought we were going to buy cheap starting bikes for maybe 12 months, and then upgrade to the Bonnevilles that we all had in mind as our dream bikes.
Yeah.
Just so happened that I saw the one in the local dealership, the Ace edition, and thought, do you know what, I'm going to just go for it and do it, and I'm not going to scare out of getting a cheap Bandit or something like that.
Yeah, and we've talked about this in our other cost video, saying you just go for the bike you want, because otherwise you're going to have to sell it and it's going to be more difficult, you might lose money, and you're going to take time. So just, as long as it's not a stupid like 200 horsepower sports bike, you know, Bonnevilles aren't stupidly overpowered. We went for it and we've had no regrets. But
anything double-digit horsepower, you're going to be okay as a first-time rider.
Yeah, triple digit, just watch yourself. But double digit, I'd say you were more than fine.
That's not a bad little
like
divider.
Benchmark. Yeah. Mine's like up on that.
But we did a full video on gear, so you can have a look at that and what it costs to get into biking. But on that front, we didn't really get surprised too much. We knew that things like insurance for young riders is not going to be the cheapest.
Yeah.
If you want the best gear, you're going to have to pay a bit more, and buy cheap, buy twice.
Basically, that's
so try and avoid doing that. All these things you do learn. You learn by doing, and you learn from your mistakes as well as your successes. So
that's it. So we found gear that we like, that looks aesthetic. So I've got some the Bi-City helmet here, for example, looks really cool. It's like Bell inspired carbon fiber helmet. So I love that. If I bought like a cheap plastic helmet and replaced it after a while, again, it would have been buying it twice. Same thing for a nice leather jacket, I think it's Garibaldi, and then I bought some new John Doe cargo trousers that I did a video on that's doing quite well on the channel. So just have an idea of the aesthetic that you'd like to aspire to, and then try and accomplish it as early as you can, because otherwise you're going to be buying stuff twice, and in the long run you'll spend more money than if you just got it up front, I'd say.
What's next on the list, James?
Next on the list, so obviously we've all been spaced apart a little bit. So I've been in the South Coast, Matt and Alex Derbyshire, and that's forced us to do quite a lot of solo riding, but what we realise is riding with your friends is so much better. I've done loads of miles in Southampton, and with a pillion on the back a lot as well, which has made it quite a lot more enjoyable than if I just went by myself. But when we get together, it's so much fun, because you can see people in the mirror or in front of you, and like you're all on the same bike, same aesthetic. You can stop, you have a coffee, you have a chat, you can catch up, and you just enjoy like riding. You're not racing each other, but it's like a spirited ride. It's like that camaraderie, you know what I mean?
Cafe racing, you know, if you're just racing against yourself, it's not as fun. So you gotta have some.
Yes, I won again. Like 5 coffees in.
We've both done a fair few hundred miles plus with the pillion on the back.
Thousands now, man.
Both the speed. Well, with the pillion on the back, I mean, so Speed Twin, the T120, probably easy that for me as well. But you do benefit from having someone there. And we did the first couple of trips. We went to the Brecon Beacons, basically a week after James passed his test.
Oh no!
And that was
the day after I passed my test. They forced me to meet in the Cotswolds. They told me the day of my test. They basically said, by the way, I'm booking this Airbnb in the Cotswolds tomorrow, so you best pass your test because otherwise it's going to cost you a load of money. I was like, all right, no,
we don't have to cancel
no
this
pressure,
Airbnb,
no
James.
pressure then. But took a picture after. I was like, get the Airbnb deposit confirmed because I've just passed. So yeah.
And then we ended up going to Wales, as we talked about, and
About a
as
month
you've
later,
probably
yeah.
seen on the channel and things. But all those first few trips, we didn't have the comm system. And that was going to be the next point, which is
big thing.
as soon as you get that and you understand that you can communicate, and we all went for the Cardo Pack Talk.
So do a little bit of the camera here. Here's the Cardo Pack Talk board. It'll flip your antenna upwards, so that just enhances the connection between the riders. But nice little system, fits on the side of the helmet, clips on, and then you've got JBL speakers built inside here that you just wire over the top of the inside fabric, and then they're discreet, built-in, incredible sound quality JBL speakers. I think you've got like 10-hour battery life on this, and it charges really quick, so it's changed the game.
Again,
for us.
it's one of those things where we just decided to go for that because it's one of the best rated ones, and it's got, James mentioned, the JBL speakers in it, and you've got that one or the Senna, which is like the two
main
flagship models.
Yeah.
And it was kind of taking inspiration from that. Don't buy cheap, just get the premium one, and we've not looked back. And it's a case of it's actually kind of spoiled riding in a way that you can't ride without it. So if you're on your own, or if I'm on my own, again, having the bike makes you just want to ride it. So right now in the middle of January, we've got major seasonal affective disorder, not being able to ride for one. But then when in the summer I was able to ride to work solo without the lads with me, I still had speakers, I still had Spotify playing through the helmet and listening to a podcast or listening to some music.
Yeah.
You don't not use it every time you go. It's always in your helmet. It's always ready to sync to your phone.
Yeah.
It's just
the sound quality.
You don't look back once you've got that. You just.
That's your key point, to be fair, because when you ride by yourself, like I said, it's not as fun as with your mates, and you have the music.
It makes up for it.
You have the music on, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh, you've got Back in Black on or something, and you're like smashing it, and you're just loving it. The weather's good. You're enjoying yourself, but
James
also,
Showing is actually a boomer at heart. Pretending he was young.
Why would it not have rock music on? I mean, you put your eclectic Brian Eno music on when you're going over some mountain terrain or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that was a special moment.
But anyway, my point is, so when we did this NC 500 tour, I had to ride from Southampton to almost Chesterfield all the way by myself on all motorways on a naked Triumph, which was shit. It's like 4-hour ride.
200 miles?
Yeah, something like that. Going 70 mile an hour plus for 3.5 hours in a row or something.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have music, that would have been so shit. And I had to do that twice. So I had to go up on the way up and then down on the way back home again by myself. So if I didn't have a good sound system, which not only kept me entertained, but also basically blocks out all the wind noise, and it's like you can turn it so loud, even at 70 mile an hour plus on a naked bike with no wind protection, it can still deafen you on full volume. So that's just such a shout out. Because if you went for a cheaper system, it's like, yeah, you might be able to listen to music, but when you're going on the motorway or something, is it good enough sound quality? And when I first did that trip up to Matt's, because I met him for the Wales trip, I tried to use my headphones, and even on full, I set off when they're on full volume.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I set off when they're on full volume, these like shitty plugged-in headphones, and I was like, this is so loud, but I'll try and see if they're loud enough when I get on the motorway. And it went from like deafeningly loud, sat on a still bike, to can't even hear it anymore as soon as I got on the motorway. So like normal headphones were just dreadful, and then going to that for long trips, especially by yourself, game changer. So
a lot of people have done a lot of reviews on these systems, and this is not really one of them, but we all three of us, myself, James and Alex, could recommend the Cardo Pack Talk, and we have done to some more of our mates, and hopefully they're going to get them this year, and we can expand the group rides.
Yeah, because we're not big enough channel yet to have affiliate links, so we're not making anything off this. But Cardo, if you're watching this and you're thinking, charismatic, fun lads that might make you a few bob, then give me a discount link.
Yeah.
Sponsor the channel.
We'll sell out in a heartbeat as soon as
help us out.
You want
that goes for
anything to plug.
Anyone, Oxford products, Wingman on the road, Cardo. Just give us a discount link. It's benefit for everyone. Right, guys. So we're back for the next talking point. So we're filming on GoPro. It actually died from overheating. I don't think they're designed to stay still, but that's all we've got right now. So we've been to gym, watched Arsenal beat Man United. Anyway, we're on to the next talking point, which is accidents / near misses / not even misses, just accidents.
Yeah, actual misses. So we've all had a slight off, shall we say? Mine being the worst one.
Yeah.
You dropped yours at like 0 miles per hour.
Well, I was on a bit of grass and my wheel got stuck, and then I had it fully loaded, all panniers.
Maybe the title for this segment is terrain.
Terrain, yeah. So mine was like a slow controlled drop, and then I picked it up, and no cosmetic damage, nothing, absolutely fine. And Alex dropped his in a gravel car park on like the first day, but he's got those like crash bars. So
this is the only one of the 3 with crash bars on, so that again didn't do anything.
So there's absolutely fine
your
there.
panniers took the brunt.
Yeah, they stopped it from maybe getting a tiny bit of damage, but Matt's is the main talking
Mine,
point.
on the other hand, was slightly more significant. So we'll throw a couple of pictures of the terrain in question again. It was a single track road in sort of South Wales, Brecon Beacon, and single track road, moss on the road, trees with light coming through it. I was thinking to myself, ooh, difficult scenario, getting dazzled with some really bad sunglasses on as well. I know I'm throwing all the excuses out there right now, but it wasn't ideal. Looking to my left, I thought, right, there's a ditch there. Don't go in that ditch. And then that thing that all bikers eventually understand to be a thing, which is target fixation.
Yeah.
Looking at the ditch.
I'm looking down.
I'm looking down, and I went into the ditch, and that's basically 20 miles an hour. Again, though, the panniers saved a lot of damage on my bike.
Did. And we didn't even know we came off because we didn't have the comms on that trip. So we went down the road.
Great plan.
Maybe like about a minute down the trail, and I was like, Matt's not behind me. I'm just going to wait a few minutes because this car came past, and I was like, I'm going to just make sure he doesn't get taken out by this car on this single track road. I waited about 30 seconds, 40 seconds, still wasn't there. I was like, something's bad happened here. Turned around, went back for him.
It's so true that the comms would have made it so much easier.
You would have gone,
guys, I'm off!
You wouldn't have been able to say you're off, I would have been just screaming. But
the car stopped, and then he was helping me sort of patch my little finger up. So I came off a motorbike, and all the thing that happened was I fractured my pinky. So again, bit of a light escape.
Yeah. But your bike like slid nicely off the single track road into like a bit of a grassy ditch. So it was like pretty safe. It wasn't like a hard landing.
The handlebars were noticeably bent only when you were riding the bike and you were like, there's something not quite 100% here. But I rode it back the 3 hours from Wales and got it patched up, and it was about 500-600 quid, maybe a bit more. But it was the excuse that I needed to actually fit that Motone panel on the side. I don't know what you call it, sort of like the gasket cover right hand side panel.
We'll put a picture up, show you.
Which I was eyeing it up, and I'm still eyeing up more Motone stuff because it looks great, and I'm sure you'll see more videos on the channel being about modifying the bikes. But that was a good excuse to actually have that one put on when the stock one had been dented and all scuffed to bits. So but one of the other things I wanted to touch on was actually, I came off, and it was my right side pinky that took most of the damage.
Cushioned the blow.
The panniers cushioned the back, and in the middle was my knee. So I've actually brought the jeans from said incident that I've been wearing ever since. Now you'll see on the knee there is a bit of a scuff. So they're Kevlar lined. These are the Rocker
single layer.
Rocker Tech tapered slim black jeans. They're pretty good. Like, I'm sure they're Kevlar lined or whatever it is, or stitched. But there's the knee. I'm sure you can see that. And underneath it, we have the D30 or D30 Ghost Armor. I think it's a level 1.
Yeah, so that's like malleable, but then when it comes under impact, it solidifies. So it's a special sort of polymer in it.
And I'm still using this in this jean. I guess a lot of people would say that because it's been torn, you should actually replace the jeans. I guess that's true, because now it's more susceptible to being torn big time if it actually came off again. But call me a cheapskate or whatever. But these D30 pads are so good. You can't see them in the jeans, and they did a great job of cushioning the blow.
Yeah.
So
it's
good. A lot of things have happened since we've had the bikes. Didn't put me off. Since this incident, done over 5,000 miles, commuting to work for a whole summer, going to Scotland and back, doing the NC 500. So
you're bound to have some like incident, or you're gonna drop a bike potentially at some point, but You know,
Yeah.
I've done like 7,500, nearly 8,000 miles, I'd say, on the Speed Twin in just over a year of owning it, and to have only, you know, dropped it on a bit of grass once.
And it's your first bike.
Yeah, it's definitely, it shouldn't be
You learn these
scary.
things.
Like, it shouldn't be like, oh, I know I'm gonna total my bike, so I'll get a cheap one. Like, it's not the case. So
You learn about the weight of the bike, the angles, momentum, all these things, and again, you learn by your mistakes. But one other thing to note was the car that stopped helped bandage my little finger up. We didn't really have any kind of first aid gear with us, so I think it's probably going to be worth investing in.
Yeah,
We took the first aid kit to Scotland and barely needed to use it. I think the midges were probably the most painful thing that we encountered.
Yeah, because if you come off and you broke a finger or you're bleeding and suddenly you realise you've not even got like basic bandages or anything, like
you can ride home like I did, but we just weren't prepared to just patch an injury.
But just that guy,
I think it was split open. It was gushing blood.
Yeah, but just having a bandage and a plaster, that went a long way.
Yeah,
because might not
a
be able to
little bit
ride.
goes a long way.
So that like got him back to the pub and he ate some food before he set off, and like we got to the supermarket and bought some like paracetamol and stuff for him.
Yeah.
And a lot of bikes could probably just store that under the seat. Like I know a lot don't have much storage under there, but you could probably squeeze like a travel first aid kit under a lot of bike seats. Maybe not like a flat Bonneville, but you could probably get something under a bike seat, or certainly in a bag with you. So it's definitely worth taking if you're gonna, go on a weekend or longer tour, or even in general if you're just out and about riding fast. It's sometimes worth having if you can fit one under your seat. Maybe just keep it there full time.
Yeah. But we've learned a great deal, and we've enjoyed it all the same.
We have, no regrets. Absolutely loving it. Probably entering our second year. Like I said, loads more content to come. Loads of peaks, vlogs, Wales, Northern Ireland tour to come in August. So anyway, that's our sort of first impressions and what we've learned after 1 year of riding and our experience, a few other stories. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Obviously more to come in better weather conditions. But thanks for watching for now.